Alright, so in this video, we're going to be talking about how to get to the databases and how to use two pretty good first starter databases. So the first thing you want to make sure is that you're on the high school homepage. You know that if you're not, you just go to select a school, hit the high school, and then from here, we're going to hit departments, and then head on over to the Library Media Center. Then over here, you'll see a button that says Book Catalog and Databases. We'll click that. And then we're going to go to online databases. You can also look up what library books are in the library, and then you can go to the library itself to go pick those up. So once you click online databases, you'll notice that you don't see the titles of the databases right away. You see links that have them organized by topic. So if you're doing a project that's predominantly science, you might start here. Now, you'll think critically and decide where else you might want to go based upon where your topic is leading you, but let's just start with, say, social studies. Because in here, you'll see a whole bunch of other databases that you can use to find sources. But you'll also see two really good first starters, ProCon.org and Opposing Viewpoints. And they both show you both sides of an argument for critical thinking. So let's head to ProCon first. And you type in, over here in the search box, what you want, but say you were just figuring out, I don't know what my topic should be, what's out there. And I see right away over here, okay, maybe animal testing. And what's good about this site is you might already feel like you have a pretty strong opinion about whether you're pro or con animal testing. But as you should with any argument you're about to make, you should know both sides of the situation. So over here you'll see, as you keep scrolling down, there are loads and loads of pros and cons in these little boxes that show you the different sides of the situation, with a pretty good paragraph detailing the reasons for why. And a lot of them will have statistics and other facts. And the best part about it, let's scroll all the way to the bottom, there are 13. Alright, so by the end of this you should have a pretty good idea about where you might want to go. But you'll notice all these little blue numbers here, and those are links to their works cited page. So you might think of your works cited page as just the thing you have to do to make sure that you're not plagiarizing, but it's super helpful to let other people know where you got your sources. And in this case, when they make their works cited page, you can use it to find sources for your own arguments. So while they don't have links to them, which can be frustrating, you can look up all these individual things either on the databases themselves or maybe even Google if they have it, and then you can find some really good websites that were already vetted by a database. And this right here is 130 sources that you can use for your own information. And all of their sites, all of their topics have lots and lots of footnotes and sources. But let's go back to our social studies section, and we'll go to opposing viewpoints. Now, you might need a password for it. Sometimes it asks, sometimes it doesn't. It will be Seaford. Any other database that requires a password will be in red below it for your use. Of course. All right, there we go. So when you get to the opposing viewpoints section, you'll have a home page that gives you some featured issues, but you'll search for whatever you want up here. But let's say I still don't know what I want to do, and I want to explore this topic. Juvenile justice system. Thinking about, all right, juvie, is that an appropriate punishment for teenage criminals? Should we do something else? Does this work well? So I go to the main page for this topic, and on the side, you'll see that it's organized by lots and lots of different kinds of things. So, of course, you want to look at your reference articles, you want to look at your academic journals, things that you know will be really academic, things that will be intellectual, things that will have lots of facts. But you can also include things like images and videos and audio. So, for example, if I want to search through all the images that are available, maybe I want to look at a photo where we have multiple adults wrestling one teenager to the ground. Does that help your argument? Or I want to have a photo with a beautiful chalkboard, a nice smiling lady. It seems like this center is much more about abuse and neglect and kids who are homeless and acknowledging that they have problems as opposed to viewing them as criminals. Maybe that will help my argument. And I can use those to support whatever it is I'm saying. I can look up videos, watch them, see what they have to say. I can find audio clips, and maybe that will be some NPR things, maybe some podcasts. I can look through all of these things, all things considered. We have some NPR, some morning edition stuff. Right? Statistics is a really good one. They'll give you lots of different bar graphs and evidence from various years, and you can look down here for the content level. So the basic level doesn't mean that it's necessarily easier to look at or something, but it only has one kind of fact. Intermediate will have more, advanced will have a lot more elaborate information here. I can also look at subjects. So if my topic narrows itself down to specifically teenage girls in the juvenile department, I can look at only information that relates to that. And similarly with other things. Right, I want to look at my subjects. This is 104 news articles. Maybe that's just too much for me. Maybe I want to look specifically at school violence. That has been a big topic recently. So now I can narrow it down to the 3 things that might help my topic specifically, because it, of course, can be overwhelming if you're looking at too much at once. But say this isn't interesting to me, and I want to go back to my animal testing. I'll type that in this search bar up here. Now the drop down will automatically give you some other things, but let's just keep it there for now. And again, we have lots and lots of things that we can look at. And again, we have our little guide to let us know how much information is being given to us here. So the last thing I want to point out, let's go to a nice good academic journal. Sentience and fish and all that. Once I'm inside here, of course I have all of my text that I can print out, I can annotate, I can read. If I go to the bottom, I see again references pages, just like I pointed out with ProCon. So not only do you have this source, but you can then look up their sources to find even more information that will help you argue your point. But one of the best things about this database thing, right here, you see the citation tools. You never have to worry about your citation being incorrect because you can pick what format you want it in, and you can just copy it and put it right into a Word document onto your OneDrive. Or say you don't have access to a printer, but you're thinking, oh, I really need this. There's a button right here. I mean, of course, there's a button right here to print it, but you can send it right to your OneDrive. And this says complete right away because I've already synced my account with it. But if I head over to my OneDrive, I scroll down, right here, Opposing Viewpoints in Context, I have the article right here. So I never have to worry about bookmarking it or making sure I don't lose it or anything like that. It's right there in my OneDrive. All right, so that's today's video. You'll watch another one tomorrow for more info on databases.